Hello everyone and welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is of course a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar, and in this video, continuing on from my last one, which was how to get into Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, this video is all going to be about the Battletomes available to every army in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and in specifically talking about what Battletomes and what armies you should avoid and don't even touch right now, and you should wait, and then the Battletomes and the armies that you should get yourself stuck into now that you know how to actually get into Age of Sigmar, what army should you play, is kind of going to be a topic that we'll be talking about in this video. But what I want to make very clear is when I say that these Battletomes, avoid them, don't touch them at all, that's not me saying that those armies are stupid. If you like them, there's something wrong with you. Really, what it is saying is that those armies are probably going to get an update at some point soon. And maybe if you invest and you buy the Battletome, you try and make lists and everything else, and construct a army around everything you're going to get in that Battletome might get an update in a few months. And again, this video is quite speculative. Like, it's not bang on, this is when we're going to get the next Mega King of Nurgle Battletome, as an example. But it's gathering everything that I can tell being part of Warhammer Age of Sigmar since it started, and the sort of structure, going to go on a limb, if you could call it that, Games Workshop uses when it comes to releasing new Battletomes and updating Battletomes. But what I can tell you is the Battletomes that are the oldest in Age of Sigmar, and ones that are kind of due an update, and then ones also that we have got rumoured are getting an update, and also ones that we know for sure are going to get an update. So I've came up with a list, the best list that you ever see, with the oldest and the newest Battletomes, and me telling you which armies I think are safe to get into. But remember, if I am wrong about any of this stuff, if you're watching this in like 6 months from now or a year from now, I can actually see into the future, so definitely let me know in the comments that I somehow did not predict the future and I should be shameful of it. But anyway, beyond anything else guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Leave me any questions you have in the comments down below, and if you do enjoy the video, make sure you smash the like button and the subscribe button. Right, first thing we're going to be talking about is the most reliable armies to play. So these are the ones that are definitely safe for you to get into, and then when we go throughout this video, we are going to be getting to the ones that are less and less reliable, and the ones that you should maybe wait a bit because they're going to get an update, and then the ones that you should definitely wait because they're going to get an update imminent. So the most reliable Battletomes I put down, and these are again quite simply just the newest ones that have came out. So the first one is going to be the new, emphasis on the new bit, the Stormcast and the Uruk Warclan Battletomes, because these are the latest Battletomes that haven't even came out yet at the time of this recording. They're coming out in August 2021, and this is to reflect the new Dominion box set, and then the other box sets that have came out after that, the Warrior, the Harbinger and the Extremist, I think it was called, that I covered in the last video. These are the first Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition Battletomes, and i.e. will be the most reliable in terms of, once these books come out, these armies probably won't get another Battletome for a couple of years at least, which means that these armies don't feel like you're going to buy the book, you're going to sort of like work with the book and try and understand it and how to best build your army, and then you get halfway through doing that, or you get to the end of doing that, and then there's a new book that's came out that's changed the whole list building idea and the whole army structure you had going for you. Bit of a gut, wrench and feeling that one. So this one, you get into one of these Uruk Warclans, or you go into the Stormcast Eternals, which if you've gone in with the Dominion box set or something like that, is fantastic, and you definitely want to pick up one of these books. That's going to be the most reliable way for you to do it, and we'll get to the end of the video, but one of the things I mentioned at the end is basically the current Stormcast Battletome and the Uruk Warclans Battletome. Do not buy. Very simple. Do not buy those books. But we'll get into that later. So what I put for the second best choice to go for is Soulblight Gravelords. Now, obviously, that is because Soulblight Gravelords are absolutely fantastic. I mean, how can you say no to this beautiful cover? And you can see it on the screen as well that I've put there. It's a fantastic army, and it's an army that you can take Nagash in, and there's been a few interesting builds you can take with Nagash now, so I'm going to stop saying that he is absolutely useless. And yeah, so Soulblight Gravelords, basically it's all about the vampires, isn't it, of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Kind of, if you're coming from Warhammer Fantasy, it's basically the new vampire counts and everything like that, and it came out literally just before Warhammer 3rd edition. So then we've got for the third one is the Lumineth Realm Lords. So why am I saying that this one is number 3 on the most reliable of how to basically, pick an army? for Age of Sigmar. And that's because, again, the book came out not so long ago. It came out just before, a few months before the Soulblight Gravelords one. But the Lumineth Realm Lords, again, if you do know Age of Sigmar, you have been playing for a while, you'll know there's a bit of a joke with Lumineth Realm Lords in the sense of, like, how can I say it's a reliable Battletome when it's had 2 Battletomes in the space of a year? I believe it is. So the first Battletomes came out when they had a box set come out for the Lumineth Realm Lords, and then about 6 months later they had this new one, which is kind of, you know, I think sucks if you're a Lumineth Realm Lord player, because you kind of think, oh, I bought this book, you know, it's limited edition, all that sort of thing, it's going to last me for ages, and then they bring out a new one. So it's quite hard to say that the Lumineth Realm Lords are that reliable, but honestly, like, if they try and bring another book out for the Lumineth Realm Lords in a year, you can't guarantee anything with Games Workshop, but in my honest opinion, I incredibly doubt they're going to get a new Battletomes anytime soon, and that's why it'll be one of the most reliable and safest ones to choose from, and has a huge model range now, of course. And then you've got the Daughters of Khaine, which had their Battletomes was one of the oldest until quite recently, and then they had a new Battletomes here. They also got an update in Broken Realms from Raffi, and then the Battletomes came out after, and it's also one of those armies, like with the Lumineth Realm Lords, that I would say is quite, like, you know, at the top of its game. So you're going to do pretty goddamn well with Daughters of Khaine, and it's an army that won't get an update for quite a while, and it works pretty solid. And then you've got number 5, He Knights of Slaanesh. Now this is quite an interesting one, because as well as you see when going through this list, I am pretty much just going from the most, you know, like, recent releases in Battletomes to the oldest releases, and that's how I'm saying how they're reliable and how they're not reliable. But when you come to the He Knights of Slaanesh, now I have got the He Knights of Slaanesh, like, you know, it's one of my armies, mainly Slaves of Darkness, like He Knights of Slaanesh, which has changed a bit now. But unfortunately, the He Knights of Slaanesh have had a problem where they did actually have their first Battletome come out about 2 years ago, and then when their Battletome came out, they were far too powerful. It's like, honestly, probably maybe the worst, or at least one of the top worst play experiences I've ever had, playing against an army with the He Knights of Slaanesh. And then because they were just so goddamn powerful, but unfortunately what Games Workshop has done since then is they had a new Battletomes came out, which again, you know, came out not so long ago, a few months back, same time as Daughters of Khaine, and because the He Knights of Slaanesh were so powerful when they first came out, the second release they got in this Battletome, Games Workshop tried to nerf them into the ground and make them really, really, I don't want to say unplayable, but if you don't really want to have much of a challenge when you're playing your games, stay away from He Knights of Slaanesh. Honestly, unfortunately, it's in that bad of a state. And then there was points increases and stuff, and I get you, if you're brand new to Warhammer Age, you might not be understanding everything I'm saying, but basically how each model unit has points and stuff like that. They got a points update when 3rd edition came out, and He Knights of Slaanesh just went beyond it somehow. Like, everything just went up pretty much, and it was just ridiculous. But I don't know, we'll try and maybe make some content for He Knights of Slaanesh at some point in the near future on the channel, to see what we can do with them, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so those are the most reliable Battletomes that I would say, like, if you pick any of these, I know 2 of them aren't out yet, but they're coming out, you know, next month, very soon. If you pick any of these, what was there, 6 Battletomes on the screen, the Uruk Warclans, Stormcast Eternals, Soulblight Gravelords, the Lumineth Realm Lords, the Daughters of Khaine, and the He Knights of Slaanesh, you'll be safe to say that they won't be getting an update for quite a long time, and you'll feel like you're getting value for money by investing in, not just buying the book, is it? Because, I mean, like, that's one thing you can say, oh, you bought this book and then they just brought out a new one later, you know, that's annoying, I don't know what I'm going to do with this book now. It's also the investment, like I say, you put into, like, even just time into, like, list build and all that sort of thing, but then the money in buying certain units because they work well in that book, and then a new book comes out and changes things up. So if you get into the Uruk Warclans, Stormcast Eternals, Soulblight Gravelords, Lumineth Realm Lords, Daughters of Khaine, and the He Knights of Slaanesh, you will be pretty safe. And lastly, just say He Knights of Slaanesh, because they're not good at the moment. The people go, like, oh, Games Workshop will bring out a new Battletome from Sigmar. Like, I really don't think they will. I mean, they were too good, and that's why they brought out this Battletome to make them, to nerf them a bit, and then they obviously went too far with it. So I don't think they're going to bring a 3rd one out, unless it's just like them fixing their mistakes repeatedly, which I don't think Games Workshop is particularly good at. But anyway, so those are the most reliable ones. And then going on to the next ones, so this is what I've called the sort of reliable Battletomes. So what do I mean by that? Now, basically, this is just everything in the middle that I can't say buy, and I can't really say don't buy absolutely before we go into the ones that I can say absolutely don't buy. But what I've done is I've ordered these Battletomes in terms of the most reliable, so again the ones that came out most recently and the ones that came out the longest time ago basically. And what I'd like to say as well is I think it's mainly important to say this now with these Battletomes that are ranged from anywhere from coming out a year ago to coming out 2 years ago, almost like 2.5 years ago, is that there's an idea that Games Workshop could release loads of new Battletomes over the next year, and that's just the way to catch every army up to 3rd edition. Like that's a strong. It's not even just a thought. It's a strong. It's not a rumor. I don't think it's been like confirmed anywhere or anything like that. But it's a strong idea people have, because I think they did it with 9th edition for 40k. You know, any 40k players can correct me on that. Obviously, if you know, but what they will probably do is try and bring most armies up to scratch with 3rd edition. And they could be doing that by, over the next year, releasing loads and loads of Battletomes. But we don't know that for sure, and that's why, obviously, I'm doing this video. But the most reliable we've got on this list is the Sons of Behemoth. So these are the big gargants, the big giants of Warhammer Age Sigmar. And because their Battletome came out at most a year ago, I think it might have been I mean, this is all in order, this list, but I can't remember since I've done it. So probably like anywhere from like a year to 9 months ago sort of thing. So that'll be reliable, and that'll be one that won't be getting an update for quite some. Oh yeah, I think it was about 9 months ago. An army that won't be getting an update for quite some time. So you're safe there. Seraphon again, that came out about a year ago as well. So basically, what I'm trying to say to you is things like the Sons of Behemoth, the Seraphon, the Cavalry Overlords, the Disciples of Each, the Slaves to Darkness, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and the Yogamore tribes. Those are ones that I would say are probably going to be reliable the most out of these lot. And then when we get to things like Sisters of Sigmar, Sylvaneth, Gloomspite Gits, Fire Slayers, Blades of Khorne, Skaven, Flesh Eater Courts, Beast of Chaos. I mean, we're talking Beast of Chaos came out about 2.5 years ago. So that's, probably going to get an update at some point soon. The safest ones I'd say out of this, like I say, the Sons of Behemoth, the Seraphon, Cavalry Overlords, and probably Disciples of Each. And then after that, you start getting like a few months back, there was the Slaves to Darkness and stuff. So I would say that these Battletomes are all pretty reliable, but obviously you just got to go from the ones at the start, which are going to be, like I say, Sons of Behemoth and everything else, and then the ones at the end, Beasts of Chaos. If you really want to get into Flesh Eater Courts as an example, I would maybe hold off a little bit, because they are going to get a Battletome at some point soon. But then again, Games Workshop, we never know. They might do things in order, they might not do things in order. And the ultimate thing I want to say about like the main sort of lot of the Battletomes and the main armies we've got here is that they should all be fairly safe. But don't be surprised if you buy Gloomspite Gits and then they get a new Battletome like in 12 months from now or something like that. So you gotta bear that in mind when you're buying these ones, that you are taking a little bit of a risk. Where before, when we look at, if I go back, the most reliable ones, you can buy these Battletomes and know that, unless there's Games Workshop are really just trying to get you to buy a new book, there won't be a new Battletome for them for, at least 15 months, something like that. So if you want absolute reliability, go for these ones. And then if you don't mind taking a little bit of a risk, but honestly, like I say, because there's so many here, anywhere from Sons of Behemoth to, I would say, Slaves of Darkness, let's draw a line there. It should be fine. If you go for any of those ones, because those ones all came out in the year of 2020, you should be alright for a fairly decent time. But then when you go anything from, I was going to say, obviously, Bone Reapers, because that army kind of needs an update as an example, onwards, you are taking a bit of a risk, but not nearly as much of a risk as when we go into the next lot, which I quite simply put, do not buy Battletomes, which are going to be these ones here. So the ones that I definitely do not buy, as I hinted at earlier, the Stormcast Eternals. So these are obviously Stormcast, the poster boys, I don't know why I'm explaining them. So if you see this Battletome, don't buy it. And then the Uruk War Clans, one with a big brute running at the head of it, don't buy that either, because quite simply, it's not even like, rumoured we might get a new Battletomes from soon. We are going to get new Battletomes for them soon, next month. So honestly, if you've just picked these up on the shelf, you bought it, you haven't unwrapped it, take it back to the shop. That's what I'm going to say. If you have bought it, you have unwrapped it, everything else, that does suck. But I mean, you know, you can always use it for the lore, for the artwork. That is what this book is worth to you now. And but if you haven't bought them yet and you think about doing it, don't buy them. Even if you're like, oh, I really want to get into my War Clans, I really want to get into my Stormcast Eternals. I bought a few things, or I don't know if I can wait until next month. Wait until next month. Like, honestly, you'd be doing yourself such a disservice if you didn't do that. And then the ones that I've put at your own risk, so like in the ones that I said sort of reliable, where you take a bit of a risk, these ones are going to be at your own risk completely. Because the reason why I've put these three up is because you've got Maggot King of Nurgle. Now, why do I say Maggot King of Nurgle? And that is because that is the oldest Battletome in all of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And again, that's not me saying that, or it's the one that suffers the most from being a bit old. It's just, you know, historically the oldest one, basically. And they made a hint, Warhammer Community did, at a Battletomes that's going to come out shortly after the Stormcast Eternal and the Warclan one, that hinted to me at Maggot King of Nurgle or Beasts of Chaos. So Beasts of Chaos, like I said, that's why it's at the end of this list here. Maybe it's a bit of a one to avoid as well, because it could be Beasts of Chaos instead of Maggot King of Nurgle. But because Maggot King of Nurgle is the oldest one, that's why I've said that it's probably going to get a book come out. I think they said maybe September time, so like September, October, on that one. And then the next one is Idoneth Deepkin. Why I've said Idoneth Deepkin, it's the same reason why I've said Nighthaunt, and that's because they are the two other oldest ones in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Idoneth Deepkin being the oldest. And it's a book that's really, to be fair to the Idoneth Deepkin, they've been just good throughout. Ever since that book came out, it's not, oh, they need a new book because they just can't play the game well. That's not true at all. Like, the Idoneth Deepkin have been doing, they smashed tournaments, they've always done alright, basically, but they've just had quite an old book, and it would just be nice for them to get a bit of an update, to be honest with you. So I really think that they will be getting an update at some point soon. Yes, you could say that, you know, Broken Realms from Raffi, well, they got an update there, so does that mean they're really going to get a new Battletome? Doors of Cain got a big update in Broken Realms from Raffi, obviously, hence the name, and then they had a new Battletome come out a few months later, didn't they? A new army book for them. So I do think Idoneth Deepkin will get a book at some point soon. Is it going to be in 4 months' time? Is it going to be in 7 months' time? I don't know, but I honestly think they will get one, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's by Christmas. That's all I'm going to say. And then when we come to the last one I put, the Nighthaunt, that's because the Nighthaunt actually came out at the same time as Stormcast Eternals, Battletome that we can see on the left hand of the screen. And that's because those were the two armies that dropped at Age of Sigmar 2nd edition when the Soul Wars box set came out. And I think, funny enough, the Battletomes for those armies dropped at the same time as the box set in 2nd edition. Shame they didn't do that with the Orc Warclans and the Stormcast Eternals this time around. But oh well. But the Nighthaunt, how would I say that they play overall? They're not the worst army in the game, but they are no way the best army, and that's not me just generalising. I mean, if there was a top, well, there's easily, like, you know, a top 10 worst armies. They would be in there, but probably, you know, I don't know, place 8th or something. So quite high on that list, but they are an army that is struggling a bit, especially with board sizes getting smaller. It's harder to summon units on. So I think, like, their book could do with an update as well. And really, it's there because, like I said, it is, at this rate, the 3rd oldest book in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And really with that, guys, that is the video. So I wanted to try and keep this video quick. Like I said, like I could go into so much depth about each one of these Battletomes. And if you are interested in my thoughts and tactics about these Battletomes, I have done videos on every army in Warhammer Age Sigmar. I've done a wide play on them all as an example, and I've done videos and tactics on most of the armies. Take Maggot King of Nurgle, for example. I've done over like a 10-hour series on that army alone. Beasts of Chaos, similar. Nighthaunt, again, yes, I've done that as well. So if you want to go those like in-depth tactics into those armies that I have already talked about, feel free to do so. But I wanted to keep this video, like I said, quite short and quite to the point on this one, I think, to be honest with you, because I wanted you to be able to sort of watch this video and sort of go like, you know, I really want to get into Age of Sigmar. I'm already in Age of Sigmar. What army? I really want to go into, you know, I don't know, these 5 armies. One of them I want to pick. And then hopefully this video is just giving you a bit of an idea to maybe rule a couple of those armies out, or for you to put a couple of those armies in your favour to help you narrow down what army you want to play. I have been thinking about doing a updated video on how to choose your army. So although I have done loads of videos like why play certain armies for every army, like I've mentioned, and some sub-allegiance as well, and how to start collecting certain armies, I'm thinking about redoing one of my most popular videos, which was how to choose an army for Age of Sigmar. And if you would like me to do a video on how to choose your army for Age of Sigmar, let me know in the comments of this video and I will look into it for sure. And then with that, guys, I just want to say thank you very much, as always, to watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you learned something from it at the end of the day, as that's the whole point of these videos. And if you did, all I'm going to ask you to do is if you could smash the like button, the subscribe button and the bell notification button. So I always ask you to press those buttons. Why do I do so? Now that is quite simply because by liking the video, that's how I know that you guys enjoy this sort of content and these videos, and it shows to YouTube that people are enjoying this, and hopefully it recommends my channel and this video to people who don't know anything about Age of Nagash, and that really does go to help out the channel. And then by subscribing to the channel, that's how the channel grows. And you know, the bigger the channel gets, the more subscribers I get, the better content I can make for you guys, and the more content I can make at the end of the day. And by pressing the bell notification, massively helps out the channel. So that's something the channel falls behind on, people pressing that button. But also means that you won't miss any one of these videos like in the future if you enjoy any of my series at the moment, or if you're liking these videos where I'm trying to help you and guide you on how to, you know, choose what army, get started, what do you need to play Warhammer Age of Sigmar, as an example. That's kind of what this series is turning out, isn't it? So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Comment any questions you have down below as always, so I'll try and answer them best I can. If you feel like you know anyone who enjoys this video, make sure you share it with them. And also, if you'd like to join the amazing Discord we've got, there'll be a link to my Discord in the description of this video. You can click it, join the Discord. There's over 320 members, I think. There's loads of conversation going on all the time, talking about all the news, how to, like I say, start certain armies. Loads of people, and there are loads of knowledge about armies as well, so you can ask them for help. And then there's tactic chats and all that, and loads of army painting and army building and fight the grey conversations going on as well for that hobby motivation. And what I'd like to say as well is if you'd like to support the channel that step further, I have actually got a YouTube membership and a Patreon. So what does that mean? So if you click the join button next to the subscribe button, I allow you to become a member here at Age of Nagash. We can give anything from just £1 a month, or you find a link to my Patreon down below in the description of this video at the top. Click the link, it will take you to my Patreon. You give anything from just $1 a month. And why do I ask you guys to do that? Quite simply, as I always say, YouTube is something that, you know, obviously I do in my spare time. If it was a business, you know, you'd be losing money every month. But by people, as you can see on the screen now, who I'm going to read out in a moment, by when they support the channel and donate money to the channel, that really keeps me going. It lets me be able to justify all the, you know, time, effort, money, resources I put into this channel. Allows me to be able to justify it because these people are willing to support me that much on a personal level. And if it wasn't for these people, I wouldn't be doing this at the end of the day, because I would see that people would not be enjoying this content as enough. So if you'd like to become one of these amazing people, like I say, click the join button or the link to the Patreon down below. But the people who made that amazing decision, I'm going to go through their names now. So my first one, my biggest supporter, is going to be my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, which is going to be Filq. So Filq, thank you so much for your continued support. That tier is absolutely amazing. Don't want to say to you, apart from, you know, I love you and thank you for so much for keeping up that support. Absolutely brilliant. And then my Morgasts is going to be Bleed Red Necropolis, so that's Mortarch of Necropolis, unfortunately doesn't all fit on the name, and Edward P. Thank you all so much for being my Morghast and keeping me going, because of that tier it really does help as well. Thank you. And then my core that keeps me going is going to be my Vampire, so that's going to be Mir, Ben C, Rouse321, David A, Dragoonity, Ronni H, Darren L, SpareBear, Christopher H, Northdrop, Nathan F, Andrew G, Wiggy Whooty, Anthony R, and Nathan S. Thank you all so much for being my vampires and really helping, and like I say, being the core support. There's so many of you, and it's a very nice amount of support you're giving to the channel with that too as well. And then my Necromancers, who are going to be Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Dice Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Cranky Wombat, Madcap, Christopher C, Christopher F, James S, Thomas B, Steve T, James T, Patrick F, JJ, R Christopher, and Sception. Thank you all so much for allowing me to keep this up, and really being, you know, the reason how, like I say, I can keep doing this YouTube channel. So if anyone would like to become these amazing people, like I say, click the join button or the subscribe button, or press subscribe anyway, with the join button or the link to my Patreon. But if you can't do that and you did enjoy the video, smash the like button, the subscribe button, the bell notification. That would be absolutely amazing. But beyond anything else, I'm just glad that you came and checked out this video here today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. And remember, until next time, to stay safe, stay hygienic, make sure you wash your hands and you wear a mask, because that means that you're games you'll be more lucky and you'll roll your dice more lucky, but I just think it's science really. And also, more importantly, is that remember until next time, that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash. I'm going to go sit down now.